Hi, I'm Keith Carter with the Department of Ophthalmology and Visual Sciences at the University of Iowa. Our tradition of excellence began in 1925 with Dr. C.S. O'Brien's chairmanship. At that time, the University of Iowa became one of the very first standalone departments of ophthalmology west of the Mississippi. Our success did not happen overnight. So as we recognize and celebrate our department's 90th anniversary, I'd like to spend a few minutes sharing how we arrived at where the department is today, and offer a glimpse into where we're headed.
In 1913, the new dean of the College of Medicine, Professor L.W. Dean, began an effort to improve and change the college's programs. One of those changes was to split out the first E of EENT into a standalone eye department, one of the first colleges west of the Mississippi to do this. In 1925, the nationwide search for the university's very first chairman of ophthalmology ended in the recruitment of Dr. Cecil Sterling O'Brien, whose resume included duty as a naval medical officer and training at the well-known Wills Eye Hospital in Philadelphia. His office was 4 floors above a small ground-level clinic until 1928, when the department moved across the river into a more convenient and spacious location in the newly built hospital. The view from those second-floor windows was of the new Gothic-style tower that would become a landmark icon for the University of Iowa. Dr. O'Brien believed strongly in the importance of learning the basic sciences and microbiology. He began searching for faculty who could teach with emphasis in these areas and who were innovative thinkers of the time, such as Lee Allen, Phillips Tygeson, Jimmy Allen, and P.J. Leinfelder. He encouraged early publishing of treatments, research, and teachings by the faculty. O'Brien also started the tradition of daily morning rounds that, in a more modern format, is still practiced today. A man known for his no-nonsense style of teaching and dealing with others, he was remembered with respect by past residents who proudly boast of having trained under Dr. C.S. O'Brien.
He had a reputation of being an extremely powerful personality. He dominated the department. He performed a large amount of the surgery. Dr. O'Brien had a worldwide reputation, and he had built the department into a U.S.-ranked top 5 eye departments in the country. The residents who trained under him very much considered he was their major teacher. Most of the ophthalmologists in the state had been trained at Iowa, and they were personally loyal and grateful to Dr. O'Brien.
In 1937, Chairman O'Brien was elected as director to the American Board of Ophthalmology, a personal accomplishment and an important landmark for the University of Iowa's eye department. It demonstrated that both peers and professionals recognized that in the heart of Iowa, something big was growing. A distinguished and progressive ophthalmology department focused on teaching and clinical care. Under C.S. O'Brien, the department's continued growth meant a need to move to a different location within the hospital, a place with more clinical, teaching, and office space for the growing faculty and patient numbers. In 1946, the department began plans to move to the west side of the hospital. Once the move was well underway, Dr. O'Brien chose to retire from the university in 1948 and transitioned into private practice with a former resident. In 1950, Dr. Alson E. Braley was chosen as O'Brien's successor. He was an Iowan and former O'Brien resident who had gone on to become chairman of ophthalmology at New York University. When Dr. Braley returned to Iowa, he inherited a department in the midst of a move and a faculty in turmoil over who Chairman O'Brien's successor should be. By the time the new chairman was announced, only P.J. Leinfelder, one of Dr. Braley's former teachers, remained with the department. Dr. Braley, however, was a moving force in his own right and quickly began rebuilding Iowa's teaching faculty with the very best candidates he could find. He understood the growing need for a wider variety of subspecialty teaching and training, and he focused on this in his recruiting efforts. He selected faculty that enhanced the ability to teach and treat the variety of eye problems and diseases that were presented to the department. He found space for retina, glaucoma, neuro-ophthalmology, and other subspecialties. His choices of recruits served to strengthen Iowa's growing reputation within the ophthalmology field. Dr. Braley also saw morning rounds as an opportunity to instruct and strengthen the department's collegial atmosphere. He continued to urge residents to attend every morning session. However, the growing number of faculty and residents made it impractical for everyone to move from bed to bed for morning rounds. So, the format changed to one in which the patient was brought to the residents and faculty for discussion about diagnosis and treatment. Chairman Braley supported and encouraged a strong Iowa presence at the Midwest ophthalmology meetings. He believed so strongly in the value of this, he was known to close the department for a few days and rent a bus to transport all the residents to meetings.
Al Braley was a people person. He was a genuinely nice, outgoing guy. He had an eye for people, and he recruited very well. People came in pretty well trained in subspecialties, which was very new at that time.
Medical advances were acknowledged by Dr. Braley, and changes were made in surgical procedures. An example of advanced techniques and care came when the department's cataract surgery was switched to the use of alpha-chymotrypsin and then to cryoextraction. Under Dr. Braley's tenure, the department introduced corneal transplantation to Iowa. In 1955, with the backing of the Iowa Lions Club, he founded the Iowa Lions Eye Bank. The eye bank was one of the earliest established and continues to be one of the leading eye banks in the nation. After serving as chairman of Iowa's ophthalmology department for 17 years, Dr. Braley retired in 1967. Iowa's reputation for excellence in teaching and patient care was growing with each passing year. Careful choices of the past two chairmen and deliberate recruiting of experienced faculty, bright, eager-to-learn residents, and qualified, caring staff continued to strengthen the team atmosphere within the department. It was essential that the new chairman continued to build on the legacies, visions, and developments of the past, and yet lay down his own stepping stones of progress and growth. In 1967, Dr. Frederick Blody became the next department leader. An Austrian-born and trained ophthalmologist who specialized in pathology, Dr. Blody came to America following his service in World War II. He was an experienced, lively, quick-witted teacher of eye pathology and is credited with bringing an international presence and influence to the department. Dr. Blody was fluent in multiple languages and remained in contact with peers in many countries. As a result, he was able to find and recruit some of the brightest and most experienced people from all over the world to join the department's growing list of subspecialists. The first decade of Dr. Blody's chairmanship included a great deal of construction and facility improvements. In the 70s, a new clinical area was constructed, and the Braley Auditorium was completed. In 1973, the newly dedicated C.S. O'Brien Library was completed, and new oculoplastics and pediatric clinics were finished.
With Dr. Blody, we developed pediatric ophthalmology and put it on the international map. Not the national map, but the international map. Because of the work we did, the people we had, the places we went, the papers we wrote. He was a very strong supporter of subspecialization. So that's what we did with pediatrics. The department, through gradual changes, has gotten better and better and better. From O'Brien, blossomed more with Braley, and blossomed more with Blody, and that's what really, put the department really on the big map.
A likable and well-respected man, Dr. Blody had a desire to strengthen not only his department, but his profession. He served as a leader of many national and international associations, including the American Board of Ophthalmology, the American Academy of Ophthalmology, and the Association of University Professors of Ophthalmology. The American Ophthalmological Society awarded him their Lucian Howe Medal, and he became the Society's president in 1991. And in 2015, Dr. Blody was posthumously inducted into the ASCRS Hall of Fame, an honor that reflects the strength, quality, and progressive efforts of Dr. Blody and those associated with the University of Iowa's ophthalmology program. Like his predecessor, Dr. Blody served the university with loyalty and dedication as chairman for 17 years, and in the fall of 1983, he announced his retirement. A new leader was needed to continue the growth and development of Iowa's progressive eye department. A familiar name rose to the top. Dr. Charles Phelps was a name recognized as a rising star within the department. He completed residency training and a glaucoma fellowship at the University of Iowa and joined the faculty in 1972. And in only 12 short years, he found himself chosen as the next chairman. Well-published and well-respected among his fellow glaucoma experts, Dr. Phelps was a founding member of the American Glaucoma Society. He was elected into the American Ophthalmological Society and expected to make many contributions to the growth and progress of the department. Unfortunately, within only a few months of taking the position as chair, he discovered he had a malignant throat cancer, and in a year, he was gone. While his tenure as chairman was short, many remember his contributions to the department as significant. Most remember his kind nature and genuine interest in the lives of others around him.
He was a chair for a pretty short time before he became ill. I was actually supposed to be Dr. Phelps's fellow the year that he died. I was impressed by his caring for me, even though he hardly knew me. I was impressed with how he was viewed by his colleagues in our little world of glaucoma. And I think the greatest testimony to his reputation is that he was part of the group that founded the American Glaucoma Society, which is now a very big group.
In 1987, the American Glaucoma Society's first meeting was convened in Iowa City in his honor. At that meeting, a hawthorn tree was planted to recognize Dr. Phelps's contributions, a tree that continues to stand outside the department today. In 1986, the chairman position was again filled from within the department with the selection of Dr. Thomas Weingeist. Dr. Weingeist finished his PhD and postdoctoral ophthalmology fellowship at Columbia University. He then chose Iowa for the next stages of his training and career. At Iowa, he earned an MD, completed ophthalmology residency, and finished with a retina fellowship before joining the faculty in 1976. Dr. Weingeist's first decade in office culminated in the move to its current location in the Pomerantz Family Pavilion in February of 1996. The new facility expanded clinical and surgical space significantly, and allowed the department to modernize exam space, diagnostic instruments, and technology. The benefit to patients was quickly realized as everyone they needed to see for eye care was centrally located. The move also enhanced the team atmosphere and collaborative efforts within the department. Education and patient care remained strong during the Weingeist era, but the pace of vision research accelerated and new technologies and techniques emerged. While he continued to build the department with excellent faculty, medical personnel, and support staff, Dr. Weingeist also embraced opportunities through the new world of Internet communication and information dissemination. The department built an impressive early Internet presence by creating one of the first websites for ophthalmology and built new Internet sites, iRounds.org and gonioscopy.org. This increased awareness of Iowa's position as a top-ranked teaching and research facility. It has also enhanced the department's worldwide exposure as individuals across the globe began using Iowa's content for training and to improve the lives of their patients. New video technology was added to allow recording of procedures for later study and informational sharing. While video cameras are pervasive today, the first installation of a video camera in the ophthalmic procedure suite was cutting edge. Another important aspect of this era was the increasing need for and progress in vision research. The Molecular Ophthalmology Laboratory and the Carver Family Center for Macular Degeneration were created under the leadership of Dr. Weingeist and Dr. Ed Stone. University of Iowa researchers have mapped and identified dozens of genes responsible for human disease, including myocilin, the first gene discovered for primary open-angle glaucoma, and TBK1, a gene for normal tension glaucoma. And there have been many other research breakthroughs credited in part or in full to the University of Iowa.
The laboratory started when I was a first-year resident. We had all volunteer labor in those days, just medical students rotating would donate their time, and we would drive around Iowa and other Midwestern states tracking down families with inherited eye disease that had been seen here over the years and draw blood from them in their living room or their kitchen. We'd set up fundus cameras, in some cases out in the barn on dirt floors and things like that. And all the initial families were gathered in that way. And so some major diseases like Best disease and some corneal dystrophies and the first human glaucoma gene, the chromosomal positions of all those diseases were established using families that we gathered in those early days. And so Dr. Weingeist was extraordinarily supportive.
With the growth of research and other department capabilities, the economics within the department had begun to change, as did the need for additional funding sources. While Dr. Weingeist was chair, research efforts were expanded and philanthropic support also grew. Additional grants and other sources of funding emerged, which allowed the creation of numerous lectureships, professorships, and named funds that support the department's academic mission. After nearly 20 years, Dr. Tom Weingeist retired from his position as department chair in 2005 and continued as an emeritus professor. Dr. Keith Carter's involvement at Iowa began in 1987 with an oculoplastic surgery fellowship, after which he joined the faculty. He rose through the ranks, including serving as residency program director, and in 2006 was appointed chair of the ophthalmology department. Dr. Carter continues to build upon the strengths and talents of the department and its past leaders. The main eye clinic in the Pomerantz Family Pavilion has expanded and now includes clinical research space. A new clinic location in the Iowa River Landing Complex has also been added under Dr. Carter. Laboratory space and research in the Medical Education and Research Facility and the Iowa City VA have expanded considerably. Dr. Carter has been instrumental in the growth of basic and clinical research capabilities. He has encouraged researchers and faculty to seek new funding and pursue promising lines of research. The new, world-renowned Stephen A. Wynn Institute for Vision Research and Stephen W. Desi Translational Vision Research Facility, another first of its kind worldwide, were created under the leadership of Dr. Stone, the Wynn Institute director, and Dr. Carter.
We have a very robust research department with the Wynn Institute for Vision Research, and we have very strong collaboration between the clinical and the research sides. We are doing cutting-edge clinical trials in all areas. In my specific area of genetics, we're doing gene therapy trials where we can now actually replace defective genes in children's eyes. And we're working to do that more and more for more diseases. So that's really the absolute cutting edge in ophthalmology right now. And I think that is just going to propel us further forward. I think the future of our department is that we're going to get closer and closer to being number one until we are number one. We also have a long history of excellence here that everybody knows about and everybody wants to live up to. So we kind of stand on the shoulders of the giants that came before us, and we want to be as great as they were.
Opportunities to expand and attract new world-class faculty, staff, and trainees continue under Dr. Carter's administration. And philanthropy continues to transform the department, which now has 17 endowed chairs and professorships that support Iowa's faculty. Throughout its 90-year history and continuing today, the department has emphasized educational quality and collaborative opportunities. The need for research into the treatments, causes, and cures for eye disease continues to grow, and the University of Iowa is poised to meet the challenges ahead in ophthalmology and visual sciences.
We have accomplished a great deal in our first 90 years. Our history is rich, with contributions from many talented and generous individuals. The chairman, our dedicated faculty and staff, the trainees, our more than 700 alumni, and countless patients and donors, all who have had an influence and played a part in the progress and successes of the University of Iowa Department of Ophthalmology, and in the lives of patients, not just from Iowa, but worldwide. Our program continues to build upon the strengths of those who came before us, and our future looks as bright and as exciting as ever. Thank you.